our debt, our deficit, our spending, our competitive advantage, what's going on with our military, what's going on with our veterans in the Department of Veterans Affairs. These are all things that we will be tackling starting immediately. I want to talk to you this morning about what we do going forward, what the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, spoke about last night, promised to deliver for America, to Americans, through the House of Representatives. There are a number of things that are affecting our country, from not having common sense energy policies that make sense for America and make sense for our resources between the Atlantic and the Pacific. We're going to work to change that, to make sure that we have policy that makes sense for energy, for Americans, so that the cost of living for you all can come down. The cost to travel to work, or travel on a vacation, or travel to the grocery store to drop your kids at school, the cost to make that traveling can come down because there's common sense energy policy. The cost to heat your home or to cool your home can come down. That's something that we can affect here in the House of Representatives. The cost to get the goods from manufacturing or from production or from agriculture and farming and get those goods to market can come down so that it's cheaper for you when you go to the grocery store to get what you need to feed your family. That's something that we can affect the change on. To look at what's going on with the debt that hangs over our country, and the way that that affects every bit of policy that we deal with here in Washington, D.C., it cannot be ignored. That's something that we are going to address. The debt, the wasteful spending that has taken place, not just to make sure that we don't participate in wasteful spending, but to work from this moment moving forward to claw back wasteful spending that has been put out there in the months and years past. Just prior to this swearing in, there was a $1.7 trillion spending package that was loaded with wasteful spending. Spending to go to other countries, to accomplish border security for their borders, very literally. That was the language of the bill text. Border security for these other countries. When we in our own country are not funding and supporting our own Border Patrol agents, securing our own border. That's something that will also be addressed. Securing the border of the United States of America. Making sure that our immigration policy is something that is adhered to, that our laws are not broken, that we do support those Border Patrol agents, and we support our law enforcement officers across this country. That's policy that we will be working on here in Washington, D.C. It's something that's not happening right now. It's something that we will be working to change. I sit on the Foreign Affairs Committee. We will be looking to make sure that every dollar that has previously gone to any other country, whether it be the Ukraine or whether it be a nation anywhere else, that is accounted for. And that we make sure that that is not a dollar that was wasted in some way. For me personally, I'm one of the biggest proponents of making sure that your dollars stay here at home, that they don't go to these other places. You know, you look at what's going on with what happened with China and COVID, and looking at the origins of COVID-19 and our competitiveness with China. What's going on with their stealing of our intellectual property, with their development of transoceanic militaries, carrier battle groups, purchasing land here on our own, just off of our own borders in South and Central America, the Bahamas and other places. These are major issues that we will be dealing with on the Foreign Affairs Committee that I will be working on specifically. And these are priorities to the Speaker of the House as well. Our debt, our deficit, our spending, our competitive advantage, what's going on with our military, what's going on with our veterans in the Department of Veterans Affairs. These are all things that we will be tackling starting immediately. So I want to talk about also as well what's going on right now. And if you see that Congress is adjourned till Monday, what is happening not just on Monday, but between now and Monday? What is the work that's actually going on right now? So to explain a little bit about what has to happen here in the House of Representatives to get bills to the floor of the House and what is changing about the bills going to the floor of the House. This is one of the biggest things that was going on throughout the last week, what we would call the rules change, the rules of the way the U.S. House of Representatives works. Under Speaker Pelosi and under previous speakers of the House, Republicans and Democrats, whether that be Speaker of the House Paul Ryan or John Boehner or others, there have been rules here that have prevented rank and file members of Congress from having a true ability to participate in the process. There have been rules here that have allowed for a bill that is supposed to be related to national defense to have things attached to that, like something on shark fins or something totally else unrelated to that. That is going to change. That is a rule that is being put forward, that there will be single issue germaneness bills. That is how they will take place. So when you see a bill on border security, it will only be about border security. When you see a bill on the United States military, it will only be about the United States military. When you see a bill about the IRS or us clawing back and repealing the 87,000 new IRS workers, it will only be about repealing the new 87,000 new IRS workers. Germaneness is something that we will be working on. When you hear about the fact that there's a bill introduced in the dark of night and we have to vote on that just a couple hours later, in the wee hours of the morning, that's something that is no longer going to take place. There's going to be a minimum of 72 hours notice for every bill that moves to the floor of the House of Representatives so that everybody does have the time to go out there and actually read the legislation, make sure that they know what they are voting on. There's an amendment process where previously members were not allowed to go out there and have offering of amendments to every piece of legislation so that we can represent our districts in the way that we were elected to represent. That is going to change, where every member will have the opportunity to actually put forward amendments and get up and down votes on those amendments so that we can represent our country the way that our founders designed this place to have the people represented. That is going to change. These are things that are going to change. Now, between now and Monday, you are going to have the majority Republicans and the minority Democrats working on the ratios of individuals that are on each and every committee. Ways and Means, Energy and Commerce, Foreign Affairs, Transportation and Infrastructure. You name the committees that are out there. Those ratios for the amount of members on each and every one of those, that's something that's going to be looked at in each of these hours moving forward. So you look at something else that's going to take place. Beyond that, not just the amount of people that are going to be on each and every one of these committees, but the members of each of these committees are something that have to be looked at. That's something that goes through a committee called the Steering Committee. So the Steering Committee is going to be getting together, working and saying, who wants to be on the Ways and Means Committee? Who wants to be on the Energy and Commerce Committee? Those are the individuals that are competing for this. Let's figure out which ones are going to be placed on it and populate those committees. Because one of the changes that's going to take place is that every bill is going to go through what we call regular order. Regular order meaning it's not just going to be something that Speaker Pelosi drops into a bill without getting the approval of all members of Congress and getting real debate on it because it's gone through committee. That's not how she operated. We are going to be different. We are going to put everything through committee, debate it in the proper way, have it pass through that committee, and then send it to the floor of the House of Representatives. That will be different. So it has to have those committees that are populated in order to do that. So that's a little bit about what's going on between now and Monday when the House of Representatives reconvenes from being adjourned from early this morning. That is the work that's going on right now. The first bill that will move forward as we reconvene will be the repealing of those 87,000 new IRS workers. So in that, I will say one more time, it is an absolute honor to be your representative. I always look forward to seeing you all around home when I get to be home. It is an honor for my family to be able to be a part of this process, to be able to represent this community, and see you all around and hear your issues and concerns. I had the opportunity to speak to so many of you throughout this week about what you wanted from the new speaker or which speaker it was that you were interested in having. We had so many conversations, and I appreciate you all paying attention and participating in this process because, again, this is your seat, this is your office, and in that, I look forward to seeing you all around, and I thank you again. I wish you all the best. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.